Hi guys, welcome back. Jordan here with the Nutty Gnome Homestead. It is the middle of May 2024 and I have a lawnmower that's not wanting to work. So as you guys can see, it's a little overcast, it's starting to drizzle rain a little bit. This is a perfect day for me to work out in my barn to try to get this lawnmower going. There's a couple different things that we're going to try to check out on this thing first before I take it into the shop. I've already called around at the shop. They're wanting $150 to $200 just to look at it. I don't have that kind of money to spend, so we're going to try to fix this ourselves. I got a pretty good idea what it is, but I'm going to show you guys a couple things that you can check on your lawnmower with minimal tools that you guys can do this yourself. So you guys come along and I'll show you what our lawnmower's been doing. So this lawnmower has been clicking as soon as you turn on the key. Yeah, it's not trying to start, it's not trying to turn over. As soon as you turn it on, it just clicks. We checked the battery. We're going to check a couple other sensors, and we're going to check what's called a starter solenoid. And I've got a pretty good idea it's going to be the solenoid, but we're going to go through and check all these functions and make sure everything's working right. Minimal tools, guys. Couple sockets, a wrench if you have it, pair of pliers, screwdriver, voltmeter if you have one, not necessary. But minimal tools, we can get this thing taken care of. I don't think it's going to take me too terribly long to get this knocked out. I've changed one of these before on a previous mower, so I'm not very mechanically inclined, so if I can do it, anybody can do it, guys. Come along and I'll show you what's going on. Alright guys, so what we have here is a Hustler Raptor 52-inch deck, and when you turn the key, it just clicks. Let me show you guys this. You guys hear that? We're going to try to take a look at this and see if we can't get it fixed. Okay guys, so the first obvious check that we're going to do is we're going to check out our battery to make sure everything's good. We hooked up a battery tester to it. This battery is new, it's only a couple weeks old, so I know it's not the battery. We've already tested it, we're getting our full 12 volts, so we know that's not the problem. Next thing we're going to test and see is if this little safety switch down here, and there's one identical to it on this side as well, is functioning properly. Whenever you move the arms of your zero-turn mowers, bring it in to start going forward, or whenever you stop the mower to turn it off, you push it out. This black piece of metal, this flange, compresses a button on this little piece right here, and it engages this trigger that is connected to the battery. If that is not functioning properly, or it's not fully depressed, your mower will not start. So if you see these tiny little screws here, these little bolts that go in here, they're not held on with a nut or anything, they're just screwed right through the frame onto a piece of plastic. I believe they are a 8mm, if I'm not mistaken, on the other side. So if you're gonna use a ratchet or a wrench or whatnot, I think it's an 8mm. Loosen these up, slide this gray part forward to where you get good connection with your arm. You see how whenever you pull it out, we got space and this little tiny lever comes out. Let me see if I can't zoom you guys in, get you off of the tripod. You see how when we work that arm, it pushes that button in? That's what engages that safety switch. And you have the same thing on this side. Okay? So what we're going to do first is we're going to unscrew these tiny little screws just a little bit to where this gray piece of plastic will move. We're going to slide it this way towards this black part just a little bit. We want to make sure that we get good contact, and this piece of flange metal compresses that button fully to fully engage that safety switch. Just by looking at it, we're going to have a good connection, so I know that's not it. So our next part that we're going to check out is we're going to look over here at, if you guys can see down in there, this piece right here is called a starter solenoid. we're going to check and see if this is going to work. One way you can check this. Okay, so we know when those two pieces are engaged that we're getting our full 12 volts through here, but obviously when we turn the key on, there's something not connecting in here. So we've got another solenoid. We're going to replace this. Give me just a second. Okay, one more thing that you guys can check that I didn't mention earlier. Let me get you a little more centered here. Right here is a fuse. It's an inline fuse. And if you take this little rubber cap off, you will see we have a 15 amp fuse. You can pull that out and check it and make sure that it's not blown. Make sure it's seated well and connected well. I can see it's not blown. If it has been burned out, it'll have a burn mark right in the center of it somewhere where the little strip of metal has been disconnected. It's no longer engaged and it's not going to function. So I know it's not the fuse, I know it's not the safety switch, and I know it's not the battery. Here we are, we're taking off our starter solenoid. And on my mower, it is a 12 millimeter bolt. Your mowers might be a little bit different. So I've already got one side disconnected. And these, pretty long-winded. Alright, so we got this taken off. Make sure you keep all your parts where they're easy to find and you can't lose them, guys. Okay, so I'm going to look at this. Got a lot of dirt underneath it, a lot of dust. So now it's time to start disconnecting these. If you look, there are 3 wires connected. We got a red wire here, a red and an orange wire here, and then we have a black and red wire connected to this little post on the back. So I've got a brand new one. Okay, so guys, this is going to be mounted just like this. So we have the short red wire on this one, the long red wire and the orange wire attached to this one, and the black and red attached to this one. And you guys see these holes? This is where our bolts are going to go, and this is actually going to ground it to our frame of our mower. So, and I believe these are either 11 or 12 millimeter if you're wanting to use a socket or a wrench. So let me go ahead and get these wires off here and I'll bring you guys back in just a second. Okay, so we got the old starter solenoid off. And if you guys look down here, you guys can see that it bolts right to this piece of metal, right to the frame. This little black wire down here, that's going to be part of your ground. That goes through the bolting screw that mounts this to the frame. So all we're going to do now is we're just going to reconnect the new one. Okay guys, sorry about the fan, it got a little hot in here. So what we did is I want you put you guys on the hyper mode, make it go real fast because it's kind of boring. We went on ahead and changed out the solenoid. I got everything reconnected. Like I said, you've got a short wire going to one post, a longer wire with an orange wire going to the post on the left, and then we have a red wire with a black line going to the post on the top, and then on the bottom where we bolted in there is a post, there is a wire rather, a black wire that goes to this bolt, and that's what grounds the whole thing down to your frame. So I went on ahead and reconnected our battery. Anytime you guys are working on your mowers, you should always disconnect your battery for safety. It's very simple, only takes a minute, and it keeps you from getting shocked or hurt or throwing sparks everywhere, guys. So just to recap, we checked our battery, new battery, everything's good. We checked our safety switches, everything was good. We checked our starter solenoid and our 15 amp fuse. Checked our starter solenoid. Whenever we turned the key, you could hear a click, which is a telltale sign that it's most likely going to be your solenoid. What there is there's a piece of metal and a wire, and when you turn the key, it goes up and makes connection, and that's how you get your 12-volt circuit going all the way around. If you just hear the click, you're not making that entire circuit, and that's what the problem's most likely going to be. Real simple fix, cost about $12. So I'm going to get everything buttoned back up here real quick, and we're going to test it out and see if it works. Okay guys, I'm going to hop on this mower real quick. We're going to turn it on, then we're going to get the side panels put back on and call it good. Let's hope it works. Alright guys, so what took, I don't know, 15-20 minutes maybe. Hardest part is taking everything off and making sure you have all your tools at one time. I used a ratchet, a screwdriver, I used an ohm-meter if you have it, to check for continuity. I'm also going to use a 11 and a 12 millimeter ratchet, and also have a pair of pliers handy just in case, keeps you from having to get an extra ratchet. But guys, I called around to a couple of small motor shops. They were going to charge anywhere from $156 to $200 to even look at the mower without the parts. So this saves us a lot of money. Like I said, $12–15 part, half hour's worth of work. We made out all right. So it's getting ready to start to rain, so I'm not going to be able to mow, but at least my mower is ready for next time. If you guys like this kind of content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out. Guys, I'm not mechanically inclined. This is so easy that even I can do it, guys. So till next time, get out there, get your mowers ready. It's a simple fix. Tinker around with it yourself, guys. Save yourselves a lot of money. Y'all stay safe.